Before another second passes, my child, listen to me carefully. I urge you, take action right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel stronger. Not when every question had been answered and every fear has disappeared. Right now. There is a reason your attention stopped here. There is a reason these words found you in this exact moment. Out of countless voices competing for your attention, something caused your heart to pause. Something within your spirit recognized that this message carried a weight you could not ignore. That was not chance. That was not luck. I have been drawing you here because there is something you need to hear before you move forward. Beloved, I know how long you have been waiting. I know there are dreams you have delayed because you were afraid of failure. I know there are decisions you have postponed because you wanted absolute certainty. I know there are prayers you have repeated over and over, hoping for a sign so unmistakable that you could no longer doubt my direction. But what if the sign you have been asking for is not another delay? What if the sign is this very moment? I see your heart. I see the exhaustion that comes from carrying unanswered questions. I see the frustration of standing at the edge of something important while wondering whether it is truly time to move. I see the opportunities you have hesitated to embrace, the conversations you have avoided, the steps you have postponed, and the doors you have stared at without opening. And now I am speaking with urgency because hesitation has become heavier than obedience. For too long, fear has disguised itself as wisdom. Doubt has disguised itself as caution. Waiting has disguised itself as preparation. Yet deep inside, you already know there is something I have been nudging you toward. You have felt it in quiet moments. You have sensed it during prayer. You have recognized it in unexpected confirmations. Again and again, I have been near, whispering to your spirit, encouraging you to trust me. This is why you must not skip past these words. If you leave too quickly, you may miss the very confirmation you have been asking me to provide. You may miss the courage needed for your next step. You may miss the understanding that turns uncertainty into action and fear into faith. But if you stay, something can begin to shift inside you. The confusion may start to clear. The burden of indecision may begin to lift. Your heart may recognize that I am not calling you to have every answer before you move. I am calling you to trust the one who already sees the path ahead. My child, this is not a message of pressure. It is a message of invitation. It is the voice of a loving Father urging you not to remain stuck when I have already prepared a way forward. The time for endless hesitation is ending. The time for movement is drawing near. And as you continue listening, I will reveal why this moment matters, what action I am calling you toward, and why your obedience now may unlock what you have been praying for all along. I need you to stop pushing aside the feeling that something inside your life can no longer continue the way it has been. You have tried to distract yourself from it. You have stayed busy, filled your mind with noise, and convinced yourself that eventually things will somehow work themselves out on their own. But deep down, you already know that is not true. The pressure you have been feeling lately is not coming from nowhere. Your heart has been carrying the weight of decisions you keep postponing, conversations you avoid, habits you know are draining you, and changes you sense are necessary but uncomfortable. You keep waiting for the perfect moment to act, but the longer you delay, the more exhausted your spirit becomes. I see how often you wrestle with uncertainty. Part of you wants to move forward, but another part of you fears what will happen if you finally let go of what has become familiar. Even painful patterns can start to feel safe when you have lived with them long enough. That is why you keep standing between two lives. One part of you longs for peace, growth, and freedom. The other part keeps reaching backward toward what is comfortable, even when it hurts you. I need you to understand that staying stuck has already started costing you more than the change you fear. You were not created to spend your life constantly avoiding what your soul already recognizes as necessary. There are areas of your life where you no longer have peace because I have been trying to wake you up. You keep asking me for clear direction while quietly resisting the truth I already placed in your heart. The answers you seek are not as hidden as you think they are. You already know where your peace disappears. You already know which environments leave you empty. You already know which thoughts are slowly stealing your hope and strength. I am not speaking to you this way to condemn you or make you feel ashamed. I speak because I love you deeply, and I refuse to watch you continue shrinking inside yourself while pretending everything is fine. You have carried burdens in silence for too long. You have learned how to survive while your heart quietly grows tired underneath it all. But survival is not the life I created you for. I want you to live with clarity, peace, and purpose again. This moment matters more than you realize. Some seasons quietly determine the direction of years ahead, and you are standing in one of those seasons now. That is why I am urging you to stop delaying the changes you already know must happen. You do not need to have every answer before taking the next step. You only need the willingness to stop running from what your heart has been trying to tell you for a very long time. My child, you have been trying to ignore the unrest inside you for a long time now. You keep telling yourself that you are simply tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained, but the truth reaches deeper than that. Your heart has been restless because you were never meant to remain spiritually asleep while your life slowly drifts away from the direction I have been trying to guide you toward. I have been speaking to you in quiet moments when the distractions fade and your thoughts finally become still enough to hear what your soul has been trying to say. That heaviness you feel at night, that tension following you through your days, that quiet frustration you cannot fully explain. Those feelings are not random. They are signals. Your spirit recognizes that something needs to change, even while your mind keeps resisting it. You have spent so much time trying to manage appearances, while your inner world grows weary underneath it all. You smile for people. You complete your responsibilities. You keep moving through routines that look normal from the outside. Yet deep inside, you feel disconnected from peace. You keep searching for relief in temporary distractions, hoping something will quiet the ache inside you. But the relief never lasts long. Eventually the silence returns, and with it comes the same truth you have been trying to avoid. You cannot heal while constantly escaping yourself. Come closer to me now, and stop treating your restlessness like an enemy. Listen carefully to what it has been trying to reveal. Your soul is reacting because it knows you have settled in places that no longer fit who you are becoming. Some relationships have drained you instead of strengthening you. Some habits have slowly weakened your confidence and clarity. Some thoughts have become so negative that you no longer realize how heavily they shape your emotions every day. I need you to stop pretending these things are harmless. What repeatedly enters your heart eventually shapes the condition of your life. You keep asking me for peace while holding tightly to patterns that steal it from you. Release them. Stop negotiating with what already leaves you empty. Walk away from the environments that constantly darken your spirit. Speak honestly about what has been hurting you. Open your heart instead of burying everything beneath silence. I am not asking you to become perfect overnight. I am asking you to become honest enough to finally face what your heart already knows. I see how afraid you are of change. I see how often you wonder whether you are strong enough to begin again. But you do not need to carry tomorrow all at once. Just take the next honest step. Sit with me. Breathe. Let your heart become quiet enough to hear my direction again. Your restlessness is not proof that I abandoned you. It is proof that I am still calling you forward. And I am asking you now, Stop running from the very change that could finally restore your peace. My child, one of the hardest truths for you to accept is that much of what has been exhausting you is something your heart already understands clearly. You keep searching for new answers because deeper down, you are hoping to avoid the answers you already have. There are areas of your life where conviction has visited you again and again, yet you continue delaying action because action feels uncomfortable. I say this gently, not to shame you, but to wake you up before delay becomes a permanent way of living. You already know which habits leave you feeling weak afterward. You already recognize the conversations you keep postponing because honesty feels frightening. You know where your peace disappears. You know which thoughts constantly pull you into fear, bitterness, insecurity, or hopelessness. Yet every time truth rises inside you, another voice quickly tells you to wait a little longer. That voice promises comfort, but comfort without growth eventually becomes a prison. I need you to understand that avoidance does not protect your heart. It slowly drains it. There are moments when you ask me why clarity feels difficult, but clarity often becomes clouded when you already know the truth and continue resisting it. Your spirit grows tired carrying the tension between conviction and delay. That is why your mind feels overwhelmed lately. Part of you longs to move forward, but another part keeps reaching back toward what feels familiar, even when familiarity is damaging you. You have spent so much energy trying to stay emotionally comfortable that you have forgotten how freeing honesty can be. So stop for a moment and listen carefully to me. Stop running from the conversations that need to happen. Stop pretending certain wounds no longer affect you when they still shape your decisions every day. Stop returning to places, people, and habits that leave your soul emptier each time. Release the idea that you must fully understand everything before taking the next step. Growth rarely begins with complete certainty. Most transformation begins with a quiet decision to finally stop resisting what your heart already knows. I am not standing over you with anger. I am standing beside you with compassion because I understand how difficult surrender feels. Letting go of old patterns can feel like losing part of yourself, especially when you have lived with them for years. But I promise you this, there is far more peace waiting for you in obedience than there ever was in avoidance. I did not create you to remain trapped inside cycles that slowly destroy your confidence, your joy, and your sense of purpose. Come closer now. Be honest with yourself. Speak truthfully about what needs to change. Invite me into the areas you keep hiding even from your own thoughts. The freedom you keep praying for begins the moment you stop pretending you do not already recognize the path I have been placing in front of you for a very long time. My child, I need you to look honestly at what has been controlling your decisions lately, because much of what you have called wisdom has actually been fear wearing a calmer voice. You have spent so much time analyzing every possible outcome, preparing for every possible disappointment, and trying to protect yourself from pain that you no longer realize how trapped your heart has become. You tell yourself you are simply being careful. You say you are waiting for better timing, more certainty, or clearer direction. But underneath all of those explanations is the deeper truth you have been struggling to admit. You are afraid of what might happen if you finally move forward. I understand why fear feels convincing to you. Fear often sounds reasonable. It reminds you of your past disappointments. It points toward moments when you trusted people and ended up wounded. It pulls old failures into your mind and quietly whispers that trying again may only bring more pain. Slowly, without realizing it, you started building your life around emotional self-protection. You began choosing safety over growth, distance over vulnerability, hesitation over trust. But look closely at what this has done to your spirit. You are exhausted, not because you have failed too many times, but because you have spent too long carrying the weight of constant inner resistance. Come closer to me now and stop treating fear like a trustworthy guide. Fear will always magnify risk while hiding possibility. It will convince you that staying still is safer, even while your soul quietly fades in the background. I never asked you to control every outcome before taking a step. I asked you to trust me enough to walk even when every answer has not fully appeared yet. That is what faith has always been. Not blind recklessness, but movement despite uncertainty. You have been waiting to feel completely confident before obeying what I placed on your heart, but confidence often grows after action, not before it. Release the need to guarantee success before you begin. Put down the burden of trying to predict every future disappointment. Open your hands. Breathe again. Let yourself admit that your current way of living has not brought you peace either. There are opportunities waiting for you beyond the walls fear built around your life. There is healing waiting on the other side of conversations you avoid. There is freedom waiting beyond habits you keep excusing. Do not let fear continue stealing years from you while pretending it is keeping you safe. I am with you even in uncertainty. Take the next honest step. Speak the truth you keep swallowing. Walk away from what weakens your spirit. Stop standing at the edge of change while praying for transformation. Your future cannot open fully while fear continues making your decisions for you. My child, as you step beyond the fear that has kept you standing still, do not ignore the opportunity I place before you right now to help carry this message into hearts that are still trapped in darkness. There are weary souls scrolling in silence, praying for one word of hope, and I am using vessels like this to reach them before despair hardens their hearts completely. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes oil for the lamp that keeps this light burning across nations and generations. Did I not say, cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again? I am breathing life upon every act of obedience done with sincerity and faith. When you give, you are not losing. You are releasing provision into my hands so rivers of healing can continue flowing to those crying out for rescue. I see every sacrifice made in secret, and I will multiply what is surrendered to me with favor, protection, and open doors no fear can shut. Do not delay what your spirit is prompting you to do. Support this mission now through super thanks. Become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and let your seed become part of someone else's breakthrough. My child, there are moments in life that carry unusual weight, and you are standing inside one of those moments right now. I need you to understand this carefully because you keep treating urgency like pressure instead of recognizing it as mercy. You assume there will always be another opportunity to change direction later, another season to finally become honest with yourself, another chance to respond when conviction touches your heart. But some doors in life do not remain open forever. Certain moments arrive quietly, carrying the power to reshape your future, and whether you respond or ignore them determines far more than you realize. You have already felt this urgency stirring inside you. That is why your heart has become unsettled lately. Part of you senses that you cannot keep postponing what needs your attention. You feel it when the distractions fade at night. You feel it in those silent moments where truth becomes impossible to completely escape. Your spirit recognizes that something important is happening beneath the surface of your life. Do not silence that feeling. Sit with it. Let it speak honestly to you. I am not trying to frighten you. I am trying to wake you before delay hardens into regret. There are blessings connected to obedience that cannot fully unfold while you continue standing still. Some relationships need healing now, not years from now. Some habits need to end before they destroy more of your peace. Some opportunities require courage while the window is still open. You cannot endlessly ask for change while refusing the movement change requires. Look at how much time has already passed while you waited for perfect conditions. You thought hesitation would protect you from mistakes, but hesitation has quietly stolen experiences, growth, confidence, and joy from you. Delay has a cost, even when it feels comfortable in the moment. The enemy knows this. That is why distraction surrounds you constantly. Endless noise, endless scrolling, endless excuses. Anything to keep you emotionally numb long enough to miss what I am placing before you. So stop for a moment and listen to me closely. Do not rush past this season pretending it is ordinary. Open your heart fully. Pay attention to what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Respond while conviction is still alive inside you. Make the call you keep avoiding. Release the attachment that keeps pulling you backward. Return to the discipline you abandoned. Pray honestly instead of mechanically. Invite me into the places you still hide behind pride and fear. I am urging you because I care about the direction of your life more than you understand right now. You still have time, but do not confuse remaining time with endless time. The opportunity before you is real. Wordofgod. Step through the door while it is still standing open in front of you. My child, I need you to stop speaking to yourself as if you are someone without value, because the way you have been viewing your own life has slowly wounded your spirit more deeply than you realize. You have carried quiet doubt for so long that it now follows you into almost every decision you make. Before you even begin something new, your mind already prepares for disappointment. Before opportunities fully open, you convince yourself you are not capable enough, ready enough, worthy enough, or strong enough to handle what stands in front of you. You have become so accustomed to questioning yourself that confidence now feels unfamiliar to you. I see how often you compare your journey to other people. You look at their progress, their success, their relationships, their stability, and you quietly wonder why your own life feels slower, harder, or more uncertain. Without realizing it, you have allowed comparison to become a thief inside your heart. It steals gratitude. It steals clarity. It steals the ability to recognize how much growth has already happened within you. Come closer to me and let me show you something important. The fact that your journey looks different does not mean your life lacks purpose. You are not behind. You are being shaped in ways you cannot fully see yet. You have survived seasons that almost broke you emotionally. You have carried burdens silently while still showing up for people around you. You have endured heartbreak, disappointment, exhaustion, confusion, and loneliness, yet somehow you are still here searching for hope. Do not overlook the strength that required. Do not reduce your endurance to weakness simply because your process has been painful. I have watched every hidden battle you fought when nobody else knew how heavy life felt for you. Stop calling yourself incapable because you are tired. Stop assuming your mistakes erased your future. Stop speaking over your own life with hopelessness every time fear enters your thoughts. Your words matter. The way you speak to yourself shapes the atmosphere inside your heart. If you continue agreeing with every negative thought, eventually your spirit begins living inside a prison built by your own beliefs. I want you to begin seeing yourself through my eyes instead of through your disappointments. You are not a lost cause. You are not forgotten. You are not too damaged to begin again. Open your heart to the possibility that your life still carries meaning beyond your current struggles. Let yourself believe that healing is still possible for you. Let yourself imagine a future where peace no longer feels distant. Take a breath now and release the constant pressure to prove your worth. You do not need to earn my love through perfection. I am asking you to trust me enough to stop tearing yourself apart every time you fall short. Speak more gently to yourself. Stand up again. Walk forward again. The version of you that keeps surviving every difficult season deserves more compassion than you have been giving yourself lately. My child, One of the greatest traps keeping you stuck right now is the belief that you must feel fully prepared before you take action. You keep waiting for confidence to suddenly arrive, for fear to disappear completely, for certainty to settle into your heart before you finally move toward what I have been asking of you. But if you keep waiting for perfect readiness, you may spend years standing still while life quietly passes around you. Growth rarely begins in comfort. Most of the important steps you will ever take happen while part of you still feels nervous, uncertain, or afraid. I know how badly you want reassurance before moving forward. You want guarantees that things will work out. You want proof that you will not fail, that people will not reject you, that your efforts will not end in disappointment again. But listen carefully to me now. If you only move when there is no risk, no discomfort, and no uncertainty, then fear will continue controlling the direction of your life without you even realizing it. Fear always demands more waiting. Fear always promises that tomorrow will somehow feel easier than today. Yet tomorrow keeps arriving, and your heart remains trapped in the same hesitation. You have already delayed enough dreams, enough healing, enough conversations, enough changes because you thought you needed more time. But readiness is not something that magically appears while you remain motionless. Strength grows while you walk. Wisdom grows while you learn. Confidence grows while you keep showing up despite discomfort. This is why I need you to stop measuring your next step by how emotionally prepared you feel in this moment. Come sit with me for a moment and be honest about what you are truly afraid of. Are you afraid of failing? Or are you afraid of discovering that your life could become different if you finally trusted me enough to move? Because staying where you are may feel safer temporarily, but your soul already knows you cannot remain here forever. You feel the tension every day. You feel how exhausting it has become to keep resisting the growth trying to happen inside you. Take the step anyway. Make the call anyway. Begin the healing anyway. Pray honestly anyway. Open your heart anyway. Stop demanding complete certainty before obedience. You are not carrying your future alone. I am already standing inside the places you are afraid to walk toward. Even when the path feels unfamiliar, I will not abandon you there. You do not need to become fearless before your life changes. You only need enough courage to stop allowing fear to make every decision for you. Trust me now. Move forward while your hands still shake if necessary, but do not remain trapped in hesitation any longer. My child, I need you to notice what your delays have slowly been doing to your heart. Because you keep thinking postponing difficult decisions protects your peace when in reality it has been quietly stealing it from you. Every time you avoid what needs your attention, the weight does not disappear. It follows you into your mornings, into your thoughts, into your quiet moments late at night when everything finally becomes still enough for truth to speak again. You have tried to push certain things aside, hoping time alone would somehow solve them. But unresolved burdens rarely stay silent. They linger beneath the surface and slowly drain your spirit day after day. I see how tired you have become. Not only physically tired, but emotionally tired from carrying tension you were never meant to carry for this long. You wake up already feeling pressure before the day even begins because your heart knows there are things inside your life that need honesty, movement, and change. Yet you keep negotiating with yourself, saying, maybe tomorrow, maybe later, maybe after things calm down. But your soul has been waiting for relief that postponement cannot provide. Come closer to me now and stop confusing avoidance with peace. Real peace does not come from ignoring what hurts you. Real peace comes when truth is finally faced with honesty and courage. You cannot continue burying pain beneath distractions and expect your spirit to feel whole. You cannot silence conviction forever without your heart becoming restless underneath it all. Listen carefully to the tension inside you. It is trying to tell you something important. Your soul is exhausted from carrying unfinished obedience. There are conversations you need to stop avoiding. There are habits you need to release instead of defending. There are wounds you need to bring into the light instead of hiding behind silence. Open your heart. Let yourself acknowledge what has become unhealthy, even if admitting it feels uncomfortable. Healing often begins with uncomfortable honesty. I am not asking you to fix your entire life overnight. I am asking you to stop pretending that nothing needs to change. Look at how much energy you spend trying to emotionally manage what could begin healing if you finally surrendered it to me. You replay situations endlessly in your mind. You carry guilt, regret, fear, resentment, and disappointment while telling yourself you are simply trying to cope. But I want more for you than endless survival. I want your heart to breathe again. I want your mind to rest again. So stop running from the things your spirit keeps bringing back into your attention. Sit with me honestly. Speak openly with me about what has been weighing on you. Release what keeps poisoning your peace. Take the step you know you need to take. Your healing will not begin through delay. It will begin through surrender, honesty, and movement. My child, now that you see how delay hath been stealing your peace, do not postpone this moment of obedience when I am calling you to help spread my word to those carrying silent battles of their own. There are hearts hanging by a thread tonight, souls waiting for confirmation that I still see them, still love them, and still have not abandoned them. Your giving becomes like manna in the wilderness, sustaining this mission so my voice continues reaching the broken, the exhausted, and the forgotten. I told you in my word that those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed, and I am watching closely every person who chooses generosity over hesitation. This is not merely support for a channel. This is participation in a harvest of souls unfolding in real time before heaven itself. Do not underestimate what one act of faith can ignite when placed into my hands. I will honor the giver who moves with obedience, and I will breathe unexpected provision, peace, and covering over the life that sows willingly into my work. The moment is now. Send your super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description and help carry this message farther than fear ever could. My child, I know how deeply some things wounded you. I saw the betrayal that changed the way you trust people. I saw the disappointment that left you questioning your worth. I saw the moments where words spoken over you settled into your heart like poison, slowly shaping the way you now see yourself. You carry memories that still ache when they rise inside your mind, and part of you keeps revisiting those painful places because pain can strangely become familiar after enough time. But I need you to understand something with honesty and tenderness today. You cannot fully heal while continuing to hold tightly to the very things that keep reopening your wounds. You have been asking me for peace while constantly returning emotionally to what damaged your spirit. You replay old conversations. You relive moments you wish had ended differently. You keep searching for explanations from people who may never fully understand the pain they caused you. Without realizing it, your heart has remained tied to seasons I have already been trying to lead you out of. I am not asking you to pretend the hurt never happened. I am asking you to stop building your identity around it. Come sit with me now and release the need to carry every wound as proof of what you survive. Some pain was meant to teach you, not define you forever. There are relationships you keep emotionally attached to because part of you still hopes they will suddenly become what they never truly were. There are regrets you continue feeding even though I have already offered you mercy. There are memories you revisit so often that your spirit never fully gets the chance to rest. Open your hands, my child. Stop gripping so tightly to what keeps draining your peace. Forgiveness does not mean pretending the hurt was acceptable. It means refusing to let the pain continue controlling your future. Let go of the bitterness that has been exhausting your heart. Release the anger you carry in silence. Stop punishing yourself for mistakes I have already been trying to heal within you. I know letting go feels frightening sometimes because pain can become strangely connected to identity. You wonder who you will be without the sadness, the resentment, the heartbreak, the disappointment. But I promise you this: there is still life beyond the wounds you have carried for so long. There is still joy waiting for you beyond survival mode. There is still healing available for your heart. Do not return again to the places inside your mind that constantly reopen what I am trying to mend. Walk forward now. Invite me into the grief you still hide from others. Speak honestly about what still hurts. Then loosen your grip on the past little by little and let me carry what has become too heavy for you to continue holding alone. My child, I need you to stop standing still while waiting for life to suddenly feel easier before you move. You have spent so much time hoping clarity would arrive first, hoping peace would come first, hoping confidence would somehow appear before you finally took the next step. But many of the things you are praying for cannot fully unfold while you remain frozen in hesitation. There are seasons where movement itself becomes part of the healing, and you are standing inside one of those seasons now. I am asking you to stop circling the same fears, the same excuses, the same emotional walls that have kept you trapped for far too long. You already know where your spirit has been feeling stuck. You feel it every time you wake up carrying the same heaviness. You feel it when your heart grows tired from repeating patterns that no longer bring life into you. Some parts of your life have quietly become stagnant because you keep delaying what needs action. I need you to understand something clearly. Waiting is not always wisdom. Sometimes waiting becomes avoidance dressed in calmer clothing. Sometimes delay becomes disobedience little by little, one postponed step at a time. Come closer to me now and listen carefully. I am not asking you to move recklessly. I am asking you to stop resisting what your heart already knows. Take the step. Begin the conversation. Apply for the opportunity. Walk away from what keeps damaging your peace. Return to the discipline you abandoned. Open your Bible again with honesty instead of routine. Pray with sincerity instead of empty repetition. Let your life move again instead of remaining emotionally parked between fear and regret. You have become so focused on avoiding discomfort that you no longer realize how uncomfortable your current condition already feels. Your soul is weary from carrying unfinished decisions. Your mind is exhausted from endless overthinking. Your heart is tired from trying to survive in places where growth has stopped happening. Do not settle there any longer. You were not created to remain spiritually numb while your purpose waits at a distance. I know part of you worries about making mistakes. I know you fear stepping into uncertainty again after disappointment wounded you before. But staying still will not protect you from pain forever. In fact, remaining trapped in hesitation has already been hurting you deeply. Look honestly at your life. The constant delay has not brought you peace. It has only prolonged the tension inside you. So breathe for a moment and trust me enough to move. I will guide you while you walk. I will strengthen you while you obey. You do not need to carry tomorrow all at once. Just stop refusing the next step standing directly in front of you. Your future cannot open while you continue clinging to the doorway of your past. My child, I need you to notice how much of your strength has been consumed inside your own mind lately. You spend hours replaying conversations, imagining worst-case scenarios, questioning decisions, analyzing every possibility, and carrying fears about things that have not even happened yet. By the time the day ends, your body feels tired, but your spirit feels even more exhausted because your thoughts have been running like a storm with no rest. You have been fighting battles in your mind so constantly that peace now feels unfamiliar to you. I never created your mind to become a prison. Your thoughts were meant to help guide you, not torment you endlessly. Yet the enemy knows something important about you. He knows that if he can keep your mind overwhelmed long enough, eventually your confidence weakens, your clarity fades, and your courage begins disappearing little by little. That is why so many of your thoughts lately have pulled you toward fear, doubt, regret, insecurity, and hopelessness. The enemy wants you mentally drained before you even take action, because exhausted people often stop believing change is possible. Come sit with me for a moment and quiet the noise surrounding your heart. Not every fearful thought deserves your agreement. Not every anxious possibility deserves your attention. You have been treating every negative thought like truth instead of learning how to pause and question what enters your mind. I need you to stop feeding thoughts that constantly poison your peace. Stop rehearsing failure before you have even begun. Stop assuming rejection before conversations happen. Stop predicting disaster every time uncertainty appears. Your mind becomes shaped by what you repeatedly entertain. If fear speaks loud enough every day, eventually fear begins sounding normal to you. But I want you to reclaim your inner peace little by little. Breathe slowly. Step away from the endless noise. Spend less time drowning in distractions that overstimulate your mind and leave your spirit emptier afterward. Create room for silence again. Create room for prayer that is honest and unhurried. Let your heart rest in my presence instead of constantly racing ahead into imagined futures you cannot control. You do not need to solve your entire life tonight. You do not need every answer before resting your mind. Trust me enough to release the pressure of trying to mentally control every possible outcome. Some of the things you fear most will never even happen. Yet you keep suffering through them repeatedly inside your imagination. So stop carrying tomorrow before it arrives. Bring your thoughts back into stillness. Let your spirit breathe again. Invite me into the anxiety you hide from others. I am not asking you to ignore reality. I am asking you to stop allowing fear to dominate your inner world until peace becomes impossible to recognize. My child, I need you to stop shrinking yourself just to remain comfortable inside environments that no longer reflect who you are becoming. You have spent so much time trying not to disappoint people, trying not to draw attention to yourself, trying not to take risks that might expose your weaknesses, that you slowly began settling for a smaller life than the one I placed inside your heart. You learned how to survive quietly. You learned how to lower your expectations before disappointment could lower them for you. But deep inside, there has always been a part of you that knew you were meant for more than simply getting through each day emotionally exhausted and spiritually disconnected. I placed gifts inside you that fear keeps trying to bury. I placed purpose inside you that insecurity keeps trying to silence. Yet every time you feel the pull toward growth, another voice rises inside your mind telling you not to try, not to speak, not to step forward because you might fail, look foolish, or disappoint someone. Little by little, you began living cautiously instead of fully. You stopped believing your voice mattered. You stopped trusting the dreams I once placed in your heart. You convinced yourself that staying hidden was safer than becoming visible. Come closer to me now and let me remind you of something important. I did not breathe life into you so you could spend your years trapped inside fear, comparison, and self-doubt. I did not create you merely to survive while ignoring the calling stirring inside your spirit. You were made with intention. Your life carries meaning far beyond your current struggles. Stop measuring your future only by what happened in your past. Stop assuming previous disappointment defines what your future must become. There are rooms you still need to walk into. There are people your life will impact. There are parts of yourself that have not even fully awakened yet because fear has kept you emotionally locked away from your own potential. But listen carefully to me now. Staying small will not protect your heart forever. Eventually your soul becomes restless when you continue hiding from the growth you were created for. So lift your eyes again. Let yourself dream again without immediately talking yourself out of it. Speak with confidence instead of constant apology. Take the opportunity instead of assuming you are unqualified. Stop dimming your light just because others became uncomfortable around your growth. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that is all right. Your responsibility is not to make yourself smaller for the comfort of others. Walk forward now with humility, but also with courage. Open your heart fully to what I may still do through your life. You are far more capable than fear has allowed you to believe, and I need you to stop living beneath the level of purpose I created you to carry. My child, you were not created to live small, and neither was your obedience meant to remain hidden when I have called you to help advance my light in this generation. There are people searching for truth in places filled with confusion, and I am raising voices that will carry healing, conviction, and restoration into the darkest corners of weary hearts. Every gift you release through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes seed planted into fertile ground where lives are being transformed by my presence. Have I not declared that those who sow generously will also reap generously? I am calling forth bold givers who understand that generosity is not weakness. It is spiritual warfare against despair, fear, and hopelessness. The enemy wants my people silent, disconnected, and spiritually asleep, but your support helps keep this fire spreading across screens, homes, and nations. I see the hands that choose obedience over comfort, and I will pour favor, increase, and divine opportunities upon those who partner with what I am building. Do not shrink back now. Act with courage. Send your super thanks, become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and help carry my voice to souls waiting for awakening. My child, I need you to become honest about the influence certain people have had over your heart, because not everyone around you has been helping you become healthier, stronger, or closer to me. You keep trying to protect relationships that continuously drain your peace, weaken your confidence, and pull your spirit into exhaustion. I know you care deeply about people. I know you want to love well, forgive well, and remain loyal. But loyalty without wisdom can quietly damage your soul when you refuse to recognize how certain connections are affecting your inner life. You have spent too much time excusing behaviors that continually wound you. You keep hoping some people will eventually become what they repeatedly show you they are unwilling to become. Because of this, you remain emotionally attached to conversations, environments, and relationships that constantly leave your spirit feeling heavy afterward. Pay attention to that heaviness. Your soul notices what your mind keeps trying to justify. Come sit with me now and look honestly at what happens to your peace around certain people. Some individuals constantly feed your fears instead of strengthening your faith. Some normalize unhealthy habits that slowly pull you away from the person you are trying to become. Others only seem comfortable with you when you remain insecure, stuck, and emotionally dependent. The moment you begin growing, setting boundaries, or seeking healing, tension suddenly appears because your growth challenges their comfort. I am not telling you to become cold or hateful. I am asking you to become discerning. Stop opening your heart fully to people who repeatedly mishandle it. Stop allowing constant negativity, manipulation, disrespect, or emotional confusion to surround your life while pretending it does not affect you. Your environment shapes your spirit far more than you realize. The voices closest to you eventually influence the direction of your thinking, your confidence, and your decisions. You cannot continuously stay connected to chaos while expecting deep peace to grow inside you. Some relationships need stronger boundaries. Some need honest conversations. Some may need distance for a season so your heart can heal properly. Do not ignore this simply because confrontation feels uncomfortable. Your peace matters. Your healing matters. Your spiritual health matters. I know part of you fears loneliness if certain people leave your life. But listen carefully to me now. Loneliness heals faster than constant emotional damage. Do not hold on to relationships simply because they are familiar. Familiarity is not always safety. Sometimes, what feels familiar is the very thing keeping you spiritually weak and emotionally exhausted. Invite me into your relationships. Ask me to show you clearly who strengthens your spirit and who consistently pulls you away from peace. Then have the courage to respond honestly to what I reveal. Your future cannot flourish while your heart remains tied to people who continually keep your soul in survival mode. My child, I need you to understand that the future you keep praying for cannot fully grow inside the mindset you have been living with. You ask me for peace while constantly expecting disappointment. You ask me for breakthrough while quietly believing nothing will ever truly change for you. You ask me for healing while continuing to speak over your own life with hopelessness, fear, and defeat. Your thoughts matter more than you realize because the atmosphere inside your mind eventually shapes the direction of your life. I see how negative thinking has slowly become normal to you. Before good things even happen, part of you prepares for them to fall apart. When opportunities appear, you immediately search for reasons they may fail. When people care about you, you question their intentions because past wounds still whisper inside your heart. You have lived under emotional heaviness for so long that expecting struggle now feels safer than expecting hope. But listen carefully to me now. Constant fear is not wisdom. Constant pessimism is not protection. Those patterns slowly train your spirit to live closed off from joy, trust, and possibility. Come sit with me and pay attention to the language you use about yourself and your future. You speak as though your past permanently defines your destiny. You repeat words filled with defeat without realizing how deeply your heart absorbs them. Stop agreeing with every hopeless thought that enters your mind. Stop rehearsing failure before life even unfolds. You are feeding your spirit either light or darkness every single day through the things you repeatedly believe, speak, and entertain. I am not asking you to pretend life is easy. I know the pain you have walked through. I know disappointment left scars inside you. But your wounds cannot become the lens through which you view your entire future forever. If you keep expecting darkness, eventually you stop recognizing when light begins entering your life. That is why your mindset matters so deeply. The life ahead of you requires emotional maturity, spiritual clarity, and the willingness to believe healing is still possible. Open your heart now to a different way of thinking. Let hope return slowly instead of immediately dismissing it. Speak with faith even when uncertainty still exists. Begin noticing the good that still surrounds you instead of only focusing on what feels broken. Train your mind to rest in truth instead of panic. Invite me into your thoughts before anxiety takes over your inner world again. You cannot build a peaceful future while constantly feeding fearful thinking. Your spirit needs new ground to grow in. Let me renew the way you see yourself, the way you see your future, and the way you respond to life. The chains around your life will not fully break while your mind continues living in the same prison fear built years ago. My child, you have been carrying far more than you were ever meant to carry by yourself, and I need you to stop pretending you are fine when your heart has been quietly collapsing underneath the pressure. You have become so used to surviving silently that asking for help now feels uncomfortable to you. You carry responsibilities, fears, disappointments, emotional wounds, financial pressure, family burdens, and private struggles all at once while still trying to appear strong for everyone around you. But deep inside, you are tired in ways words barely explain. I see the nights where your thoughts refuse to rest. I see how often you hold back tears because you feel you must remain composed. I see how heavy life has felt for you lately. Yet instead of bringing your exhaustion to me honestly, you keep trying to manage everything alone. You overthink. You suppress emotions. You distract yourself. You convince yourself you simply need to push harder and endure longer. But listen carefully to me now. You were never created to live like this. Strength does not mean carrying impossible weight without breaking. Sometimes true strength begins when you finally admit you cannot keep doing this alone. Come closer to me and release the pressure you keep placing upon yourself. Put down the constant need to control every outcome. Put down the fear that makes you believe everything depends entirely on you. Your shoulders were never designed to carry the emotional weight of the entire world. Yet you keep trying anyway, and it is slowly draining the life from your spirit. I am inviting you now into surrender, not defeat. There is a difference. Surrender means allowing me into the places you keep guarding so tightly. It means speaking honestly instead of pretending. It means letting yourself rest instead of constantly living in survival mode. You do not need to have every answer tonight. You do not need to solve every problem immediately. Breathe for a moment and let your soul stop running endlessly. You keep believing vulnerability will make you weak, but hiding your pain has only deepened your exhaustion. Speak to me honestly about what scares you. Tell me what has been weighing on your heart. Let yourself cry if you need to. Release the burden instead of carrying it silently another month, another year, another season. I am still here beside you even in your exhaustion. I have not grown tired of listening to your prayers. I have not abandoned you because you feel overwhelmed. Stop isolating yourself emotionally while your spirit quietly breaks beneath the weight. Open your heart fully now. Let me carry what has become too heavy for you. Peace begins when you finally stop trying to hold everything together alone. My child, I need you to stop believing that the things you avoid today will somehow disappear tomorrow on their own. You have been pushing certain struggles deeper into silence, hoping time would weaken them, but hidden problems rarely stay small. What you ignore in your heart eventually grows roots. Quiet bitterness becomes emotional distance. Small compromises become destructive habits. Unspoken pain slowly turns into exhaustion that touches every part of your life. I say this to you with love because I see what is happening beneath the surface long before you fully recognize it yourself. You keep trying to manage symptoms instead of facing causes. You distract yourself when conviction rises. You stay busy so you do not have to sit honestly with what hurts. You tell yourself you are fine because admitting otherwise feels uncomfortable. But your spirit hath been carrying tension for too long. That heaviness you feel is not random. Your soul is reacting to everything you keep bearing instead of healing. Come sit with me now and stop running from the areas of your life that need attention. Bring the hidden anger into the light. Bring the secret fear into the light. Bring the addiction, the resentment, the loneliness, the pride, the emotional numbness into the light. You do not need to impress me with perfection. I already know what you carry. I am asking for honesty because healing cannot fully begin while you continue pretending nothing is wrong. There are wounds inside you that became deeper simply because they remained untouched for too long. There are thoughts you allowed to repeat until they shape the way you now see yourself. There are relationships that slowly became unhealthy because truth was avoided again and again. Listen carefully to me now. Delay has consequences. Silence has consequences. Ignoring your spiritual condition has consequences. What begins as a whisper can eventually become a storm if left unattended. I do not speak this way to condemn you. I speak urgently because I love you enough to warn you before more damage is done. Your future matters too much for you to continue living emotionally disconnected from what needs healing. Stop calling destructive patterns temporary when they have already become part of your daily life. Stop excusing what keeps draining your peace. Face it honestly now while your heart is still willing to respond. Take a breath and invite me into the places you have hidden even from yourself. Do not wait until the weight becomes unbearable before seeking healing. Start now. Speak truthfully now. Let conviction lead you toward restoration instead of shame. I can heal what you finally stop hiding. But you must stop turning away every time your soul tries to show you where the real problem lies. My child, if what you ignore eventually grows, then understand this also. Every act of obedience you nourish in faith will grow into fruit that reaches far beyond what your eyes can currently see. Right now, there are wounded hearts hiding in silence, people secretly battling fear, addiction, loneliness, and despair. And I am sending this message like fire into places human strength alone could never reach. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become part of the river I am releasing to heal thirsty souls across the earth. I said in my word that your labor in me is never in vain, and heaven records every seed sown with a willing spirit. Do not believe the lie that your contribution is too small to matter, because even a single spark can ignite an entire forest with light. I am blessing those who move quickly when compassion stirs inside them, and I will establish peace, provision, and supernatural covering over those who help carry my message forward. This is a divine moment, not an accident, and your response matters more than you realize. So stop hesitating. Send your super thanks now, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, and let your obedience become part of someone's healing story. My child, I need you to understand that the life you keep praying for cannot fully grow without discipline becoming part of your daily walk with me. You ask for clarity, peace, purpose, and breakthrough, but many of the things you desire require consistency that you have struggled to maintain. You keep waiting for motivation to suddenly carry you forward, yet motivation fades quickly when it is not supported by discipline. That is why your heart often feels frustrated with itself. Part of you deeply wants change, but another part keeps returning to patterns that weaken your focus, drain your energy, and pull you away from growth. I see how distracted your life has become lately. Your attention is constantly pulled in different directions. Your mind rarely rests. Your spirit rarely slows down long enough to reconnect with me deeply. You keep consuming noise all day and then wonder why your heart feels spiritually empty afterward. My child, you cannot continually fill your life with distraction and expect peace to remain strong inside you. What you repeatedly feed eventually shapes your spirit. Come closer to me now and take an honest look at your daily habits. Some routines are helping you grow, but others are quietly destroying your focus little by little. The late nights draining your strength, the endless scrolling numbing your mind, the constant procrastination delaying what needs action, the unhealthy coping habits you keep defending even though they leave your spirit weaker afterward. Stop pretending these things are harmless simply because they became normal. I am not asking you to become perfect overnight. I am asking you to become intentional. Wake up with purpose instead of immediately surrendering your mind to distraction. Spend time with me before fear and noise consume your thoughts. Protect your peace. Protect your focus. Protect your inner life. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is preparation. It creates space for growth, healing, clarity, and strength to develop steadily inside you. You keep asking me to change your life while resisting the structure necessary to support that change. But listen carefully now. Freedom without discipline eventually collapses into chaos. Your calling carries responsibility. The future waiting for you requires emotional maturity and spiritual steadiness. You cannot continuously feed your flesh while expecting your spirit to remain strong. So begin making different choices even when they feel uncomfortable at first. Turn away from distractions sooner. Return to prayer with sincerity. Create room for stillness again. Follow through on the commitments you keep abandoning. Small acts of discipline may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time they shape the direction of your entire life. I'm calling you higher now, my child. Do not settle for a distracted life when I created you for deeper purpose than that. My child, I need you to stop assuming that your struggle means you are failing, because many times the pressure you feel comes right before something important begins to shift. You have looked at your current situation and quietly convinced yourself that nothing is changing, that your prayers are going nowhere, that your efforts have been wasted. But what you cannot see from where you stand is how close you already are to the breakthrough you have been asking me for. The enemy wants you discouraged now because discouragement causes people to quit when they are standing only a few steps away from answered prayers, restored peace, and open doors they thought would never appear. I know the waiting has been heavy on your heart. I know you are tired of hoping for things that seem delayed. Some days you wake up feeling strong, and other days you feel emotionally drained before the morning even fully begins. Yet despite everything, you are still here. You are still listening. You are still searching for me. Do not overlook that. Your endurance matters more than you realize. Every difficult season you survived has been shaping your spirit in ways you cannot fully measure yet. Come closer to me now and stop judging your progress only by what is visible. Seeds grow underground long before they ever break through the surface. Healing often begins quietly before your emotions fully recognize it. Your life is not as stagnant as fear keeps telling you. There are things already moving beneath the surface that you cannot yet see clearly. I have been preparing you while you thought nothing was happening. I have been protecting you from paths that would have harmed you while you interpreted the delays as rejection. Do not give up now. Do not walk away from growth simply because the process feels longer than you expected. The enemy wants your exhaustion to become hopelessness. He wants you to mistake temporary pressure for permanent defeat. But listen carefully to me now. Pressure does not always mean something is falling apart. Sometimes pressure means something is finally beginning to move. Lift your eyes again. Breathe deeply again. Pray honestly again. Return to hope even if your heart feels cautious. I am still working inside areas of your life you stopped believing could change. Your future is not finished simply because the process has taken longer than you hoped. Stay faithful in small steps. Continue moving forward. Continue choosing honesty, healing, discipline, and surrender little by little. You are much closer than your fear allows you to believe right now. Do not quit in this season. Do not allow temporary discouragement to steal the very breakthrough you have been praying for. Stay with me. Keep walking. The light you thought disappeared is still ahead of you. My child, I need you to release the quiet pressure you keep placing on yourself every time you compare your life to someone else's journey. You have spent too much time looking around at other people's progress and wondering why your own life feels slower, more complicated, or more uncertain. You see others reaching milestones you hoped would already happen for you, and without realizing it, comparison begins whispering lies into your heart. It tells you that you are behind. It tells you you miss your chance. It tells you everyone else is moving forward while you remain stuck in the same place. But listen carefully to me now. Comparison hath been distorting your vision. You do not fully see what others carry behind closed doors. You only see fragments of their story while judging your entire life against those fragments. Meanwhile, You overlook the growth happening quietly within you because it does not look dramatic enough. You fail to notice how much stronger you have become emotionally. You ignore the wisdom your difficult seasons have produced. You dismiss the resilience that developed through heartbreak, waiting, disappointment, and endurance. Your journey had been shaping you differently, not abandoning you. Come closer to me now and stop treating someone else's timeline like a measurement of your worth. I never designed your life to unfold exactly like another person's story. The plans I have for you carry their own timing, their own preparation, and their own purpose. Some people bloom quickly but struggle to sustain what they receive. Others are prepared slowly because what they carry requires deeper roots. Do not confuse slower growth with forgotten purpose. I know how difficult waiting has been for you. I know there are prayers you hoped would already be answered by now. You wonder why certain doors remain closed while others seem to move ahead effortlessly. But what you call delay is not always denial. Sometimes I protect you through preparation. Sometimes I slow things down because your spirit still needs healing before the blessing arrives. Sometimes I close doors because the version of success you imagined would have eventually wounded your peace. Stop rushing your life because you fear falling behind. Breathe again. Trust my timing again. Focus on your own healing, your own growth, your own relationship with me instead of constantly measuring yourself against people who were never assigned your path. Comparison steals gratitude and blinds your heart to the progress already happening inside you. I want you to walk forward with peace instead of panic. Your story is still unfolding. Your purpose has not expired because someone else reached a milestone before you. Keep growing where you are. Keep trusting me where you are. The right doors will open at the right time, and what I prepare for you will not require you to destroy your peace trying to force it to happen early. My child, I need you to stop hiding inside indecision because remaining stuck between choices has been draining your spirit far more than you admit. You keep standing at crossroads in your life, knowing deep inside what needs to happen, yet refusing to move because you fear making the wrong choice. So instead, you stay suspended between possibilities. You delay conversations. You postpone change. You avoid commitment. You wait for certainty so complete that no discomfort remains. But while you wait endlessly for perfect clarity, your peace slowly weakens beneath the weight of constant hesitation. I see how often your mind circles the same thoughts. One day you feel ready to move forward, and the next day fear convinces you to step backward emotionally. That inner conflict has exhausted you. You tell yourself you are being careful, but sometimes caution becomes a hiding place for fear. Your soul already feels the cost of staying divided inside yourself. You were not created to live permanently trapped between two directions. Come sit with me now and listen honestly to your heart instead of only listening to fear. There are decisions you already understand more clearly than you pretend. You know which environments no longer support your growth. You know which habits are damaging your peace. You know where your spirit feels heavy and where it feels alive. Yet every time conviction rises, you immediately begin negotiating with yourself because action feels uncomfortable. I am not asking you to control every outcome before taking a step. I am asking you to trust me enough to stop delaying your own growth. Indecision creates emotional paralysis. It steals confidence little by little because your spirit grows tired carrying unresolved attention every day. You keep asking me for peace while refusing to move in the direction peace requires. But peace cannot fully settle where constant hesitation continues ruling your heart. Take a breath now and stop demanding guarantees before obedience. Some choices will always involve uncertainty. That is part of being human. But your future cannot unfold while you remain emotionally frozen between fear and possibility. Open your hands. Release the need to predict everything before moving forward. Make the decision. Speak honestly. Set the boundary. Walk away from what keeps destroying your peace. Step toward what strengthens your spirit. Even small decisions matter because repeated hesitation slowly shapes the direction of your entire life. I do not want you spending another season trapped inside circles of overthinking while your purpose waits outside the door of your fear. Trust me now. Move forward even if your heart still trembles a little. Clarity often grows while you walk, not while you remain standing still forever. My child, you have heard my call to stop living trapped inside hesitation. So do not leave this moment unchanged while I place an opportunity for obedience directly before you. There are souls on the edge of giving up who will encounter these messages because someone chose to sow instead of staying passive. Every super thanks, every membership, and every gift sent through the PayPal link in the description becomes fuel for this mission to continue reaching the hurting, the lost, and the spiritually exhausted. I told you that wherever your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And when you invest into my work, you are storing treasure where darkness cannot destroy it. This is not simply generosity, it is agreement with heaven's assignment for this hour. I am calling my people out of indecision and into immediate obedience because the harvest is urgent and the time is short. Those who move when I prompt them will see doors open, burdens lifted, and peace settle over areas where fear once ruled. So make the decision now. Do not scroll away unchanged. Send your super thanks. Become a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, and step boldly into the blessing attached to obedience. My child, I need you to become honest about the compromises that have slowly weakened your spirit over time, because there are things you continue allowing in your life that no longer belong there. You feel the tension every time conviction touches your heart. You notice the emptiness afterward. Yet instead of fully turning away, you keep telling yourself it is not serious enough to confront. Little by little, compromise has become normal to you, and your spirit has grown weary carrying the weight of it. I see how often you silence your own convictions just to avoid discomfort. You ignore the warning signs because facing truth would require change. You allow certain habits to remain because they temporarily numb stress, loneliness, fear, or emotional pain. But listen carefully to me now. Temporary comfort can quietly become long-term bondage when compromise remains unchecked. The things you repeatedly excuse today may eventually shape the condition of your heart tomorrow. Come closer to me and stop pretending your soul does not feel the difference anymore. You know when your peace disappears. You know when certain conversations leave your spirit feeling dark and drained. You know when your habits pull you further away from clarity, discipline, and emotional health. Yet compromise always whispers the same lie. Just one more time. Just a little longer. It is not hurting you that much. But your spirit already knows otherwise. I am not speaking to condemn you. I am speaking because I love you enough to warn you before compromise steals more of your joy, focus, and peace. You cannot keep feeding your flesh while expecting your spirit to remain strong. Eventually your inner life becomes divided, and that division creates exhaustion inside you. Part of you longs for deeper healing and closeness with me, while another part keeps clinging to patterns that weaken your soul. That constant inner conflict is tiring you more than you realize. Stop negotiating with what you already know is harming you. Bring it into the light. Speak honestly about the struggle instead of hiding behind excuses. Walk away from the environments that constantly tempt you into becoming someone you no longer want to be. Remove what continually poisons your peace. Protect your heart instead of constantly exposing it to things that pull you backward spiritually. I know surrender feels difficult because compromise often becomes emotionally familiar over time. But familiar does not always mean healthy. Do not let temporary cravings destroy long-term peace. Choose healing over numbness. Choose discipline over impulsiveness. Choose honesty over hiding. Your spirit is craving freedom, my child. Listen to that longing instead of silencing it again. The closer you walk with me, the more clearly you will recognize that compromise never truly satisfied your heart. It only delayed the healing your soul had been desperate for all along. My child, I need you to recognize that you have already outgrown certain parts of your old life, even if your emotions are still trying to hold on to them. You keep trying to move forward while carrying mindsets, habits, fears, and attachments that belong to an earlier season of your life. That is part of the reason your heart feels conflicted lately. Your spirit is trying to grow, but parts of you keep reaching backward toward what once felt familiar. Growth becomes painful when you continue trying to live inside spaces your soul no longer fits. I see how often you return to old thinking patterns every time fear rises inside you. You still speak to yourself through the language of your past wounds. You still carry insecurity shaped by old disappointments. You still react from pain that should no longer have authority over your future. But listen carefully to me now. The version of you that survived previous seasons cannot become the permanent identity you live from forever. Survival helped you endure difficult moments, but you were not created to remain emotionally trapped inside survival mode for the rest of your life. Come closer to me and let yourself acknowledge that change is already happening inside you. Some relationships no longer feel the same because your spirit is changing. Some habits no longer satisfy you because your heart is waking up. Some environments now leave you restless because your soul recognizes they no longer align with where I am leading you. Stop resisting that discomfort. It is not punishment. It is growth stretching your heart beyond old limitations. I know part of you fears letting go of the old version of yourself because it feels familiar. Familiar pain can sometimes feel safer than unfamiliar healing. But I need you to stop returning emotionally to identities I already called you beyond. You are no longer the person who first entered those painful seasons. You have learned. You had endured. You have grown stronger in ways you still fail to fully recognize. Release the constant need to define yourself by your past mistakes, your heartbreaks, your failures, or your old fears. Stop speaking over your life as though nothing inside you has changed. Your healing may not be complete yet, but transformation is already happening. Let yourself step fully into it. Walk forward now with honesty. Leave behind the thinking patterns that continually pull you backward. Stop rebuilding emotional homes inside places I already asked you to leave. Open your hands and allow yourself to become who I am shaping you into now, not who pain once convinced you would always remain. Your future requires a healthier, freer, wiser version of you, and I am calling that version forward little by little every single day. My child, I need you to look honestly at the contradiction your heart has been living in lately, because you keep praying for transformation while continuing to protect the very patterns that keep holding you back. You ask me for peace, yet you return to habits that create chaos inside your spirit. You ask me for healing, yet you continue reopening wounds through unhealthy attachments, destructive thinking, and emotional avoidance. You ask me for clarity, but your life remains filled with distractions that constantly cloud your mind. I say this with love because I want you to understand something important. Real change requires participation from you. You cannot continue feeding the same cycles and expect different results. Your spirit already feels the tension this creates inside you. Part of you longs to become stronger, freer, healthier, and closer to me. Yet another part keeps clinging to what feels comfortable even when comfort is slowly damaging your soul. That inner conflict has exhausted you more than you realize. Your heart is tired of constantly moving in circles. Come sit with me now and stop defending patterns that no longer serve your growth. Stop excusing the habits that repeatedly drain your energy, your discipline, and your peace. You know which behaviors leave you feeling spiritually weak afterward. You know which environments pull you away from clarity. You know when your mind begins slipping back into fear, negativity, bitterness, or emotional numbness. Yet every time conviction rises, you quickly search for reasons to delay real change. Listen carefully to me now. Freedom often begins with uncomfortable honesty. Healing requires surrender. Growth requires intentional decisions repeated consistently over time. You cannot simply wish for a different life while protecting the same emotional patterns that created your exhaustion. Something must change, and part of that change involves the choices you make daily when nobody else is watching. I am not asking you to become perfect overnight. I am asking you to stop resisting the process. Delete what continually poisons your mind. Walk away from what keeps pulling you backward. Return to discipline even when motivation fades. Protect your peace instead of constantly sacrificing it for temporary comfort. Stop negotiating with the patterns your spirit already recognizes as harmful. I know change feels difficult because old habits become emotionally familiar over time. But familiar does not mean healthy. Familiar can still destroy your peace slowly while convincing you to remain comfortable. Do not settle there any longer. Invite me into your daily decisions now. Let me strengthen you where your willpower feels weak. Begin making choices that align with the future you keep praying for. Your prayers matter, but your patterns matter too. Transformation becomes possible when your actions finally begin agreeing with the healing your heart has been asking me to bring into your life. My child, I need you to stop for a moment and honestly recognize how long you have been living in survival mode. You wake up already carrying emotional weight before the day even fully begins. You move through responsibilities, conversations, routines, and obligations while something inside you quietly feels empty and disconnected. You have learned how to function while exhausted. You have learned how to smile while your heart feels heavy. You have become so accustomed to merely getting through each day that you no longer remember what true inner peace feels like. I never created you simply to survive another week while your spirit slowly fades underneath constant pressure. Yet that is what your life has started to become. You spend so much energy managing stress, fear, disappointment, and emotional pain that very little room remains for joy, rest, wonder, or closeness with me. Your soul has been longing for more, but you keep silencing that longing with distractions, responsibilities, and endless busyness because slowing down would force you to confront how tired you truly are inside. Come closer to me now and let yourself admit what you have been afraid to say out loud. You are weary. Not weak, not worthless, not failing, just weary. Your heart has carried too much for too long without proper rest. You keep trying to pour into others while your own spirit feels dry. You keep pushing yourself forward while ignoring the emotional wounds quietly bleeding beneath the surface. But survival mode cannot sustain your soul forever. Eventually your spirit begins crying out for healing, honesty, and restoration. I need you to stop treating exhaustion like a permanent lifestyle. Stop convincing yourself this emptiness is simply adulthood or responsibility. There is a difference between carrying responsibilities and living emotionally disconnected from peace. Your soul was never meant to constantly exist under pressure without moments of stillness, joy, and renewal. Sit with me now without rushing. Put down the need to perform for everyone around you. Release the pressure to always appear strong. Breathe slowly and let your heart become honest again. What you need most right now is not more distraction. You need restoration. You need truth. You need space for your spirit to heal. Return to the simple things that bring life, back into your soul. Pray sincerely instead of mechanically. Rest without guilt. Speak honestly about your pain instead of hiding it behind constant productivity. Let yourself feel loved instead of only feeling useful. You are more than your responsibilities. You are more than your struggles. I want you fully alive again, my child. I want your heart awake again. There is still peace available for you beyond this cycle of emotional survival, but you must stop running from the deeper healing your soul has been begging for all along. My child, as you begin stepping out of survival mode and allowing your weary soul to breathe again, I am also calling you to become part of the healing I am releasing into other broken hearts through this message. There are weary souls scrolling through darkness tonight who are desperate for one spark of hope, one drop of oil, one voice reminding them they are not abandoned. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes part of the river I use to carry my word into places wounded hearts are crying out for rescue. Have I not told you? Give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I am speaking that promise over you now. When you support this mission, you are not funding content. You are helping light fires in souls that were moments away from giving up. I see every act of obedience, every sacrifice, every seed planted in faith, and I will breathe multiplication, provision, and protection back over your life. Do not ignore this moment of invitation, my child. Give through super thanks, become a member, or sow through the PayPal link waiting in the video description right now. My child, I need you to quiet the noise around you for a moment because your attention has been scattered in too many directions for too long. Your mind rarely rests anymore. Your days move quickly from one distraction to another, and even in moments of silence, your thoughts continue racing without peace. You keep filling every empty space with noise because slowing down feels uncomfortable now. But I need you to understand something important. The constant distractions surrounding your life are not harmless. They are weakening your ability to hear my voice clearly. I have been trying to reach your heart, but so many other voices compete for your attention every single day. Fear speaks loudly. Social pressure speaks loudly. Anxiety speaks loudly. Endless entertainment, endless scrolling, endless opinions, endless comparisons. They all pull your focus away little by little until your spirit becomes numb without you even noticing. You keep wondering why clarity feels distant while your inner world remains overwhelmed by constant noise. Come sit with me now and stop running from silence. Silence is not your enemy. In silence, truth becomes visible. In silence, your heart finally slows down enough to recognize what it truly needs. But you have trained yourself to constantly escape discomfort through distraction. The moment conviction rises, you reach for noise. The moment loneliness appears, you bury yourself in activity. The moment fear surfaces, you search for something to numb it temporarily. Yet none of those things have restored your peace. I need your full attention because your soul is standing at an important moment right now. There are decisions before you that require spiritual clarity. There are areas of your life that need honesty, healing, and direction. But clarity cannot grow where constant distraction dominates your heart. You cannot hear me clearly, while every other voice keeps speaking louder than my presence in your life. Put down the distractions for a while. Turn away from what continually overstimulates your mind. Sit quietly with me again. Open your Bible with intention instead of routine. Pray honestly instead of repeating empty words while your thoughts remain elsewhere. Invite me fully into your attention instead of only giving me the leftover pieces of your focus after everything else has drained you emotionally. Your spirit is hungry for deeper connection, even if you have been ignoring that hunger. Stop feeding your mind endless noise while your soul quietly starves for peace. Let your heart become still enough to recognize my direction again. You do not need another temporary escape right now. You need clarity. You need truth. You need restoration. I am speaking to you because I care deeply about where your life is heading. But you must stop drowning my voice beneath constant distraction. Slow down now. Listen carefully. Give me your attention fully, and let me guide your heart back toward peace again. My child, I need you to stop measuring your value by the pain you have experienced, because somewhere along the way you began believing that what wounded you also defined you. You carry disappointments that change the way you see yourself. You remember the rejection, the betrayal, the failures, the moments where people walked away or treated your heart carelessly, and without fully realizing it, you allowed those experiences to shape your identity. Part of you now speaks to yourself as though you are damaged beyond repair. But listen carefully to me now. Your pain may have affected you deeply, but it never erased your worth. I saw every moment that broke your heart. I saw the nights you cried quietly so nobody else would notice how overwhelmed you felt. I saw the times you questioned whether you were enough after being treated like you weren't easy to replace. I saw the shame you carried after mistakes you still struggled to forgive yourself for. But your wounds never changed the way I see you. Even when you felt abandoned, confused, or emotionally exhausted, I never looked at you with disgust or disappointment. I looked at you with compassion because I understood the weight you were carrying. Come closer to me now and stop speaking over your life as though your brokenness is all that remains of you. You are more than the heartbreak you survived. You are more than the failures that still haunt your thoughts. You are more than the labels other people placed upon you during moments when they did not recognize your value. Stop agreeing with every cruel thought your pain whispers into your mind. Your suffering did not disqualify you from being loved. Your scars did not remove your purpose. In fact, many of the deepest places inside your heart are the very places where compassion, wisdom, and strength have quietly been forming. You survived seasons that could have completely destroyed you emotionally, yet you are still here searching for healing. Do not overlook the courage that required. I know healing has felt slower than you hoped. I know part of you still carries insecurity from what happened before. But stop punishing yourself endlessly for wounds you did not deserve and mistakes I already want to help you heal from. Release the constant need to condemn yourself. Let yourself receive grace again. Speak more gently to yourself. Look at yourself through my eyes instead of through the lens of past pain. Allow your heart to believe that your future can still contain joy, peace, love, and purpose. You are not too damaged for restoration. You are not forgotten. You are not beyond healing. Let me rebuild the parts of you that pain convinced you were permanently ruined. I am still working inside your life, even in the places where your heart feels fragile. My child, I know there are moments when you look at your life and quietly wonder whether you waited too long to change. You think about wasted years, missed opportunities, broken relationships, unhealthy choices, and seasons where fear kept you standing still. Sometimes regrets speak so loudly inside your heart that it becomes difficult for you to imagine a different future ahead. You begin believing the damage is permanent, that too much time has passed, that your mistakes now define the direction of the rest of your life. But listen carefully to me now. As long as your heart is still willing to respond, there is still time for things to change. I need you to stop speaking about your future as though it has already been destroyed. Yes, there are consequences to certain choices. Yes, some seasons left wounds that still need healing. But do not confuse a delayed path with a hopeless future. I have seen people rebuild their lives from places far darker than the one you stand in now. I have restored hearts that thought peace would never return. I have guided people out of shame, addiction, fear, bitterness, and despair when they finally stopped running from truth and allowed me fully into the process. Come closer to me now and release the belief that your story is already finished. Stop rehearsing regret every day as though guilt alone can somehow rewrite the past. The past cannot be changed, but your direction from this moment forward still matters deeply. That is why I am urging you now. Do not waste more years trapped inside hopelessness when healing is still possible for you. You do not need to fix your entire life tonight. You simply need to stop refusing the next honest step. Pray sincerely again. Return to discipline again. Apologize where you need to. Walk away from what keeps destroying your peace. Open your heart instead of continuing to numb it through distraction. Small steps taken consistently can completely change the direction of your future over time. I know part of you fears failing again. I know you worry about trying only to fall back into old patterns. But staying trapped in shame will not protect you from failure. It will only keep you emotionally chained to the past. Let me help you rise again instead of endlessly condemning yourself for where you once fell. Breathe deeply now and let hope return, even if only slowly at first. Your life is not beyond restoration. Your heart is not beyond healing. There is still purpose ahead of you. There is still peace available for you. But you must stop convincing yourself it is too late to begin again. Open your hands, my child. Walk toward me honestly now, and let this become the season where your life finally begins turning in a different direction. My child, I need you to pay closer attention to what you allow into your heart every single day, because your inner life has been under constant pressure for longer than you realize. You keep wondering why your peace feels fragile, why your thoughts feel heavy, why your spirit becomes restless so quickly. But much of what you are experiencing is connected to what you repeatedly expose your mind and heart to. Your soul absorbs more than you think. The conversations you entertain, the content you consume, the voices you listen to, the environments you remain in, they all shape your inner condition little by little. I see how overwhelmed your mind has become lately. Fear enters through constant negativity. Insecurity grows through comparison. Temptation grows through repeated exposure. Bitterness grows when anger is constantly fed. Yet you often treat these things casually because they have become so normal around you. But normal does not always mean healthy. Just because something surrounds you daily does not mean it belongs inside your spirit. Come sit with me now and honestly examine what has been feeding your inner world. Some things you continue watching leave your spirit darker afterward. Some conversations leave you emotionally drained every time. Some habits overstimulate your mind until peace becomes difficult to recognize. You keep trying to heal while constantly reopening the door to influences that quietly poison your thoughts. I need you to stop ignoring this. Protect your heart more carefully. Guard your attention more intentionally. Stop allowing endless noise to consume your focus from morning until night. Your soul needs space to breathe again. It needs truth more than distraction. It needs stillness more than constant stimulation. Every day you are either strengthening your spirit or weakening it through what you repeatedly allow to enter your life. I am not asking you to isolate yourself from the world completely. I am asking you to become discerning. Learn to notice what leaves your spirit peaceful and what leaves it troubled. Turn away from what continually drags your thoughts into darkness. Create boundaries around your peace instead of sacrificing it so easily. Spend more time in my presence than in environments that constantly drain your joy, your clarity, and your strength. Open your Bible slowly again. Sit quietly with me again. Let worship soften the heaviness inside your heart again. Fill your mind with truth instead of endless fear and distraction. You cannot feed your spirit poison every day and then wonder why your soul feels weak afterward. Your inner life matters deeply, my child. The condition of your heart shapes the direction of your life far more than outward appearances ever will. Protect it carefully now. Guard your peace. Guard your thoughts. Guard your spirit. The future I am leading you toward requires a healthier inner world than the one you have been carrying lately. My child, protecting your inner life also means choosing what kingdom you help strengthen with your resources, your attention, and your obedience. Everyday darkness fights to flood minds with fear, confusion, distraction, and despair. But I am raising voices that carry light into those very places. When you sow into this channel through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become part of that holy work. You help pour fresh oil into lamps that are guiding exhausted souls back toward my presence. Did I not say, the generous soul shall be made rich? I am speaking that living word directly over your life now. What you release in faith, I will use as seed for harvest, peace, favor, and breakthrough in seasons ahead. Your giving becomes bread for the hungry spirit, water for dry hearts, and fire for those whose faith has almost gone cold. Do not treat this invitation casually, because heaven sees every obedient act done with sincerity. Strengthen the mission now through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, and let your seed become part of the harvest I am gathering. My child, there comes a moment in every person's life where excuses can no longer carry them forward, and you are standing in that kind of moment now. I say this to you with love because I care deeply about your growth, your healing, and the future waiting ahead of you. You have spent enough time blaming circumstances, blaming people, blaming your past, or blaming fear for why certain areas of your life remain unchanged. While some of your pain was absolutely real and unfair, you cannot allow your wounds to permanently become the reason you stop growing. I know life hurt you in ways that shaped your heart deeply. I know there were seasons where you did not receive the love, support, or guidance you needed. But listen carefully to me now. Healing begins when you stop allowing your past to make every present decision for you. Maturity requires honesty. It requires accountability. It requires the willingness to face uncomfortable truths instead of continually avoiding them. Come closer to me now and stop running from responsibility every time conviction touches your heart. You already know the areas where growth is needed. You know where discipline has been missing. You know where your emotions have controlled your decisions. You know where pride keeps you from apologizing, changing, or asking for help. Yet every time truth rises inside you, another part of you quickly searches for excuses to remain where you are. I am calling you higher than that now. Stop waiting for someone else to rescue you from choices only you can begin changing. Stop expecting healing while refusing honesty. Stop asking for peace while continuing behaviors that destroy it. Maturity does not happen automatically with time. It develops when you become willing to face yourself truthfully and still keep moving forward instead of collapsing into shame. This does not mean becoming hard or emotionally closed off. True maturity actually softens the heart in healthy ways. It teaches you humility. It teaches you patience. It teaches you how to respond instead of constantly reacting emotionally. It teaches you how to take responsibility for your healing instead of expecting others to carry what only you can confront with me. I know growth feels uncomfortable because it requires change. But staying emotionally immature will cost you relationships, peace, opportunities, and spiritual clarity over time. Do not settle there. Step forward now. Own your choices honestly. Learn from your mistakes instead of endlessly repeating them. Allow correction instead of resisting it defensively. I am not asking you to become perfect. I am asking you to become teachable. Let your heart mature through the process instead of fighting it. The future waiting for you requires deeper wisdom, stronger discipline, and healthier emotional ground than what carried you through your previous seasons. My child, I need you to understand that the future you keep asking me for will require you to let go certain things you have become too comfortable holding on to. You pray for growth, peace, healing, purpose, and breakthrough, but many of those things cannot fully enter your life while your hands remain tightly wrapped around habits, mindsets, and attachments that are slowly keeping you spiritually weak. Change always asks something from you. Growth costs comfort. Healing costs honesty. Freedom costs surrender. Yet you keep hoping transformation will happen without requiring you to release what keeps damaging your soul. I know sacrifice feels difficult for you because some things have become emotionally familiar. Even unhealthy patterns can feel safe after enough time. You hold on to distractions because they temporarily numb pain. You hold on to certain relationships because loneliness feels frightening. You hold on to pride because vulnerability feels risky. But listen carefully to me now. What comforts you temporarily may quietly be delaying the future I have been trying to lead you into for a very long time. Come closer to me and stop treating surrender like punishment. I am not trying to take good things away from you. I am trying to remove what continually drains your peace, clouds your clarity, and weakens your spirit. Some things cannot follow you into your next season because they would destroy the very healing you keep praying for. Yet every time I ask you to release something unhealthy, fear immediately tells you that letting go will leave you empty. But what if the emptiness you fear is actually space being created for something healthier to finally grow? You cannot carry everything forward with you, my child. Some habits need to end. Some environments need distance. Some distractions need boundaries. Some thought patterns need replacing. Stop asking me to change your life while resisting the sacrifices real change requires. Your future deserves more than half-hearted obedience mixed with constant compromise. I know part of you wants healing without discomfort, but healing often involves letting go of identities, attachments, and behaviors that no longer belong in your life. The process can feel painful at first because your flesh resists change even when your spirit longs for it. But do not run from the discomfort. Sit with me inside it. Let me strengthen you while you release what has become unhealthy. Take inventory of your life honestly now. What keeps pulling you backward? What repeatedly steals your peace? What weakens your discipline and clarity? Bring those things before me openly. Stop defending what your spirit already recognizes as harmful. The future waiting for you is worth the sacrifice required to reach it. Do not settle for temporary comfort while your deeper purpose remains untouched. Trust me enough to let go. I will not leave you empty-handed when you release what no longer belongs in your life. My child, beneath all the stress, the overthinking, the distractions, and the emotional exhaustion, your heart has been craving something very simple for a long time now. You have been longing for stability. Not only financial stability or outward success, but deep inner steadiness. You are tired of constantly feeling emotionally pulled in different directions. You are tired of carrying anxiety that follows you from one day into the next. You are tired of pretending you are all right while your inner world feels unsettled underneath the surface. I see how often your emotions shift depending on circumstances around you. One difficult conversation affects your entire day. One disappointment pulls you back into fear. One moment of uncertainty causes your thoughts to spiral again. You keep searching for peace externally while your inner foundation remains fragile because too much of your stability has been tied to temporary things. When people disappoint you, your peace disappears. When plans change, fear rises immediately. When uncertainty appears, your heart struggles to remain steady. Come closer to me now and let me teach your spirit how to rest again. Real stability does not come from controlling every outcome around you. It comes from learning how to stay rooted even when life feels uncertain. Right now your soul feels exhausted because you keep trying to emotionally manage everything yourself instead of anchoring your heart in me. I need you to slow down and stop feeding the constant chaos inside your mind. Stop rutting from distraction to distraction, trying to escape discomfort. Stop depending entirely on temporary comforts to calm the deeper unrest inside you. Your spirit needs grounding. It needs stillness. It needs truth stronger than your shifting emotions. Sit quietly with me again. Breathe slowly. Pray honestly instead of only speaking to me when crisis appears. Build daily habits that strengthen your peace instead of draining it. Protect your sleep. Protect your thoughts. Protect your time with me. Stability grows slowly through consistency, honesty, discipline, and trust. You keep hoping peace will suddenly arrive through changed circumstances, but much of the instability inside you comes from unresolved fear, emotional exhaustion, and spiritual disconnection. I want to heal those deeper places. I want your heart to stop living in constant survival mode. I want your spirit steady enough that difficult moments no longer completely overthrow your peace every time life becomes uncertain. Do not ignore this longing inside you anymore. Your soul has been asking for rest, clarity, and stability for a long time now. Let yourself stop striving endlessly. Let yourself stop carrying every burden alone. Open your heart fully to me again, and allow me to rebuild the inner foundation your life has been missing. My child, I need you to notice how uncomfortable silence has become for you lately, because every quiet moment now seems to pull hidden emotions back to the surface. That is why you keep surrounding yourself with constant noise. You move quickly from one distraction to another because stillness forces you to face thoughts and feelings you have tried hard to avoid. You fill your mind with entertainment, scrolling, conversations, work, and endless activity, not because all those things are necessary, but because slowing down would mean sitting honestly with your own heart again. I understand why silence feels frightening to you. In silence, unresolved pain begins speaking. In silence, fear rises without distraction to bury it. In silence, your spirit starts revealing the exhaustion you keep trying to outrun. But listen carefully to me now. The healing your soul longs for will not happen while you continue escaping yourself every day. Some of the deepest restoration I want to bring into your life can only happen when you finally become still enough to hear what is truly happening inside you. Come sit with me for a moment without rushing away. Put down the noise. Turn off the endless distractions for a little while. Let your mind settle. Breathe slowly. You do not need to fear what silence reveals because I am already present there with you. I am not waiting in silence to condemn you. I am waiting there to heal you, guide you, comfort you, and speak truth into the places where confusion and emotional exhaustion have been growing. You have spent too long carrying unprocessed emotions. Some wounds were never fully acknowledged. Some fears were never honestly confronted. Some grief was put aside because life demanded you keep functioning. But ignored emotions do not disappear simply because you stay busy. They remain hidden beneath the surface, quietly shaping your anxiety, your reactions, your exhaustion, and your relationships. I need you to stop treating stillness like weakness. Silence is where your spirit learns to breathe again. Silence is where clarity returns. Silence is where your heart finally slows down enough to recognize my presence instead of constantly reacting to every pressure around you. Right now your soul is overstimulated and emotionally tired because it rarely gets the chance to rest deeply. Create space for stillness again. Sit with me in prayer without rushing through words. Walk without distractions sometimes. Let yourself cry if emotions surface. Let truth rise instead of immediately numbing it. Your healing is waiting inside places you keep avoiding. Do not run from silence anymore, my child. Run toward it with me beside you. The peace you have been searching for cannot fully enter your life while your soul remains trapped beneath endless noise and emotional avoidance. My child, even now in the silence, I am stirring hearts across the world through these words, calling weary souls out of noise and back into my presence. There are people listening tonight whose spirits are hanging by a thread, and I am using this message like rain falling onto dry ground to awaken them again. When you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you help keep this river of truth flowing into homes, hospitals, lonely rooms, and broken hearts that desperately need my voice. Remember when I said those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed? I am declaring that promise over every giver hearing me now. Your seed is not small in my eyes. It becomes oil for lamps, bread for the hungry, and light breaking through spiritual darkness. This is not merely support for a channel. This is participation in the rescue of souls and the spreading of my living word. I will honor those who move with willing hearts, and I will surround them with peace, provision, and unseen protection. So do not delay this prompting, my child. Act now through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description. My child, I need you to recognize the mercy inside this moment because not everyone receives repeated opportunities to change direction before their heart grows completely numb. Yet here you are again, hearing conviction stirring inside you, feeling your spirit awaken, sensing that something in your life cannot continue the same way forever. This is not coincidence. This is another opportunity, being placed gently into your hands, and I do not want you to waste it by convincing yourself there will always be more time later. You have already experienced moments where I tried to get your attention before. There were seasons where your heart clearly felt the need for change, but fear, distraction, pride, or emotional exhaustion caused you to pull away again. I watched you return to old patterns even after recognizing how deeply they were draining your peace. I watched you delay decisions you knew were necessary. Still, I remain patient with you because my love for you never disappeared during your struggle. Come closer to me now and do not ignore what your spirit feels in this moment. You already know this is deeper than temporary emotion. Something inside you recognizes that your current path cannot continue without consequences to your peace, your growth, and your future. That awareness is not here to shame you. It is here to wake you before more damage is done. I am giving you another opportunity to become honest. Another opportunity to surrender what keeps hurting you. Another opportunity to rebuild habits that strengthen your spirit instead of weaken it. Another opportunity to heal relationships, restore discipline, and reconnect with me sincerely instead of mechanically. But opportunities require response. You cannot endlessly stand near transformation while refusing to step fully into it. Stop delaying the changes your heart already understands are necessary. Stop waiting for a future version of yourself to suddenly become brave enough to act. Begin now. Pray now. Release the unhealthy attachment now. Return to truth now. Small acts of obedience matter more than you realize because repeated small choices slowly shape the direction of your entire life. I know part of you fears failing again, and because of that fear, you sometimes avoid fully trying at all. But listen carefully to me now. Failure is not your greatest danger anymore. Remaining spiritually asleep while your soul quietly drifts further from peace is far more dangerous. Do not allow another opportunity for healing to pass by while comfort and distraction continue pulling your attention away. Your heart is still responsive right now. Your spirit is still listening right now. That matters deeply. Open your hands fully to me again. Let this become the season where you finally stop resisting the very healing, clarity, and restoration your soul has been longing for all along. My child, I need you to understand that not every battle in your life is happening around you. Some of the hardest struggles you face right now are happening quietly inside your own heart. You keep looking at circumstances, people, pressure, and problems around you. But there is also a deeper conflict taking place within you every single day. One part of you longs for peace, healing, discipline, and closeness with me. Another part keeps pulling toward fear, comfort, distraction, and old patterns that no longer bring life into your spirit. That inner tension has exhausted you more than you fully realize. I see how often your emotions pull you in opposite directions. You want to trust me, but fear keeps whispering worst-case scenarios into your mind. You want to move forward, but part of you still clings emotionally to what feels familiar. You want healing, yet you sometimes return to the very habits and thoughts that keep reopening old wounds. This conflict inside you is why your heart often feels restless even during moments when everything around you appears calm. Your spirit is tired of living divided. Come closer to me now and stop pretending this battle does not exist. Be honest about what is happening inside you. Stop ignoring the thoughts that continually weaken your peace. Stop feeding desires that leave your spirit feeling empty afterward. Stop treating temporary comfort like it will somehow satisfy the deeper hunger inside your soul. Your heart already knows the difference between what brings life and what slowly drains it. I am not asking you to fight this battle alone. I am asking you to stop surrendering your inner world so easily to fear, distraction, bitterness, temptation, and hopelessness. Protect your mind more carefully. Bring your thoughts back to truth when anxiety begins controlling your emotions again. Turn away from what constantly stirs darkness inside your spirit. Sit with me before reacting emotionally to every pressure surrounding your life. The battle within you will not disappear through avoidance. It requires honesty, surrender, and daily choices. Some days will feel harder than others, and that does not mean you are failing. Growth often feels messy while your heart learns healthier ways of living. But do not lose hope in the process. Your spirit is stronger than you think, especially when you stop trying to fight everything through your own strength alone. Breathe slowly now, and let me into the places inside you where conflict has been raging silently. Let me calm the chaos within your thoughts. Let me strengthen the part of you that still longs for peace, healing, and truth. The war inside your heart does not have to control your future forever. Walk with me daily through this process, and little by little your spirit will grow stronger than the fears and patterns that once ruled your inner life. My child, I need you to stop believing that transformation only counts when it happens dramatically or all at once. One of the reasons you become discouraged so quickly is because you expect immediate perfection from yourself. When growth feels slow, you assume nothing meaningful is happening. When you stumble, you speak to yourself as though all progress has been lost. But listen carefully to me now. Real healing is usually built through small consistent steps, not sudden flawless moments. You have spent too much time waiting for the perfect day to begin changing your life completely. You tell yourself that when motivation feels stronger, when circumstances improve, or when fear disappears, then you will finally become disciplined, peaceful, healthy, and spiritually focused. But lasting growth rarely begins through emotional intensity alone. It begins quietly through repeated choices made one day at a time. Come sit with me now and release the pressure to fix everything overnight. You do not need to become a completely different person by tomorrow morning. You simply need to keep moving honestly in the right direction. One sincere prayer matters. One healthy boundary matters. One honest conversation matters. One disciplined decision matters. Small acts of obedience repeated consistently shape your life far more deeply than temporary emotional bursts ever will. I see how frustrated you become with yourself when progress feels slow, but you overlook how much strength it already took for you to survive previous seasons. You overlook the growth already happening beneath the surface simply because it is not dramatic enough for your expectations. Be patient with yourself while still remaining committed to change. Healing is not weakness because it takes time. Growth is not failure because it happens gradually. Stop abandoning the process every time you fall short. Stand back up. Return to me again. Learn from your mistakes instead of allowing shame to convince you to quit entirely. The enemy wants you trapped inside extremes where you either expect perfection or surrender completely to discouragement. But healthy growth does not happen that way. Steady movement matters more than emotional perfection. Focus on the next honest step instead of becoming overwhelmed by the entire future. Pray consistently even when emotions feel quiet. Protect your peace daily instead of only during crisis. Choose discipline in small moments. Speak kindly to yourself while still taking responsibility for your growth. Little by little, those small decisions reshape your spirit, your habits, your confidence, and your future. Do not underestimate what I can build through your willingness to keep showing up honestly. You are changing more than you realize, even when progress feels slow. Stay with the process. Stay close to me. Keep taking small faithful steps forward, and one day you will look back and realize your entire life slowly transformed through choices that once seemed insignificant. My child, I need you to understand something honestly today, because you have spent too much time praying for change while avoiding the responsibility connected to that change. You asked me to heal your life, but there are steps you already know you need to take that you continue postponing. You asked me to restore your peace, but you keep returning to the same environments, habits, and patterns that continually damage your spirit. You asked me for freedom while still protecting the chains that keep you emotionally trapped. I say this with compassion, not condemnation, because I want you to stop remaining stuck inside cycles that are exhausting your soul. I will help you. I will strengthen you. I will guide you through every difficult season. But you cannot continue waiting for miracles while refusing movement. Healing requires participation. Growth requires honesty. Freedom requires willingness. There are choices only you can make. There are conversations only you can have. There are boundaries only you can establish. You cannot expect your life to transform while continually ignoring the responsibility connected to your own healing. Come closer to me now and stop pretending helplessness is humility. Sometimes you already know exactly what needs to happen next, but fear keeps convincing you to remain passive. You wait for motivation to suddenly appear. You wait for perfect certainty. You wait for life to somehow become easier before you begin changing your habits, your mindset, your relationships, or your discipline. But while you keep waiting, your spirit grows more tired carrying the weight of unfinished obedience. I need you to take ownership of your healing now. Stop blaming your past for every present decision. Stop excusing the behaviors that repeatedly steal your peace. Stop asking me to remove consequences while refusing to change the choices creating them. I am not asking you to become perfect overnight, but I am asking you to stop resisting the process. Open your heart honestly and ask yourself what responsibilities you keep avoiding. Is it your discipline, your emotional healing, your boundaries, your honesty, your spiritual consistency, your willingness to let go of unhealthy attachments? Face those things truthfully instead of running from them again. I know responsibility feels heavy sometimes because change requires effort, discomfort, and consistency. But remaining trapped will cost you far more in the long run. Your future deserves your participation. Your healing deserves your honesty. Your spirit deserves the chance to finally breathe freely again. Take the next step now, my child. Pray sincerely, but also act courageously. Let your choices begin aligning with the future you keep asking me to bring into your life. I will walk beside you through every step. But I need you to stop standing still while waiting for rescue from battles I already gave you the strength to begin confronting. My child, just as I am calling you to stop waiting passively for change in your own life, I am also calling you to take action in advancing my word to others who are still trapped in darkness, exhaustion, and despair. Faith is not only what you pray, it is what you choose to do when I place opportunity directly before you. Every seed sown through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes part of the harvest of souls I am gathering in this hour. Have I not said that whoever sows generously will also reap generously? That word is alive over you right now. I see the quiet obedience of those who give sacrificially so others can encounter healing, truth, and restoration through these messages. Your generosity becomes like rivers flowing into dry places, like fire awakening hearts that had nearly gone cold. This is a divine appointment, not a coincidence, and I do not want you to ignore the stirring you feel inside at this very moment. Step forward now with obedience and faith. Support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link waiting in the video description. My child, I know there have been moments where loneliness wrapped itself around your heart so tightly that you began believing nobody truly understood what you were carrying. You smiled through conversations while quietly feeling disconnected inside. You stayed present for other people while secretly wondering who would notice if your own heart was falling apart. There were nights where your thoughts became so heavy that you felt isolated even in rooms full of people. I saw all of it. I saw the silent battles you never explained. I saw the tears you hid. I saw the exhaustion you carried, while still trying to function normally for everyone around you. You have convinced yourself at times that you must carry everything privately because you fear becoming a burden. You hesitate to open your heart fully because past disappointments taught you to protect your pain carefully. Little by little, isolation became familiar. Even when people care about you, part of you still keeps emotional distance because vulnerability feels risky now. But listen carefully to me. You were never meant to carry life entirely alone. Come sit with me now and stop believing the lie that your loneliness means you have been abandoned. I have remained close to you through every season, even when your emotions struggled to feel my presence clearly. I was there during the nights when anxiety kept your mind awake. I was there when disappointment left your heart aching. I was there when you questioned your worth, your future, and your strength. Your feelings may have told you that you were alone, but your feelings were not telling you the full truth. I need you to stop isolating yourself emotionally while your spirit quietly longs for connection, healing, and support. Open your heart again little by little. Speak honestly with people you trust. Let yourself be seen instead of constantly hiding behind strength. Vulnerability is not weakness. Sometimes it is the very doorway through which healing begins entering your life. You do not need to impress me with perfection either. Bring your fears to me honestly. Bring your confusion. Bring your weariness. Sit with me quietly instead of always trying to appear composed. I already know your heart completely, and I still remain beside you with love and patience. There are people I will place in your life who can walk with you through healing, growth, and restoration, but you must stop assuming everyone will wound you the way others once did. Your heart deserves healthy connection, encouragement, and support. Do not close yourself off completely because pain taught you to expect disappointment. Lift your eyes again, my child. You are seen more deeply than you realize. You are loved more fully than you understand. Even in your loneliest moments, You have never truly walked through life abandoned and unseen. I have remained beside you through it all, and I am still here now. My child, I need you to hear me carefully right now, because there are moments when discouragement has spoken so loudly into your heart that you began questioning whether your life still truly matters. You look at your mistakes, your delays, your disappointments, and the struggles that continue surrounding you, and sometimes you quietly wonder whether your purpose has already been lost somewhere along the way. You compare who you thought you would become with where you stand now, and the distance between those two pictures fills your heart with grief. But listen closely to me now. Your purpose did not disappear simply because your journey became painful. I know there were seasons where life wounded your confidence deeply. I know you have battled thoughts that told you you were falling behind, wasting time, or becoming someone unrecognizable even to yourself. But your current struggle is not the final chapter of your story. Do not let temporary exhaustion convince you that your life no longer carries meaning. I created you intentionally. I formed your heart with purpose long before fear, failure, or disappointment ever entered your life. Come closer to me now and stop defining yourself only by what has gone wrong. You still carry gifts inside you that have not fully awakened yet. You still carry compassion that can heal others. You still carry wisdom shaped through pain that may one day guide someone else through darkness. The enemy wants your discouragement to become hopelessness, because hopeless people stop believing they have anything left to offer. But I need you to reject that lie. Your life still matters deeply. The way you love people matters. The way you survive difficult seasons matters. The way you continue seeking truth despite exhaustion matters. There are people you have not even met yet who may one day need the strength your story will carry. There are conversations ahead that will bring healing. There are moments ahead where your life will become an answer to someone else's prayer. Do not abandon yourself emotionally before those moments arrive. I know purpose can feel distant when your heart is tired. That is why I need you to stop measuring your worth only by visible success or outward achievement. Purpose often grows quietly through daily faithfulness, through healing, through character, through the small unseen ways your life touches others. You do not need a perfect life for your existence to carry meaning. Lift your eyes again now. Stop speaking about yourself as though your story has already ended. Open your heart fully to the possibility that your best seasons may still be ahead of you. Walk with me again. Trust me again. Let hope breathe inside your spirit again. I am not finished with your life, my child. There is still purpose ahead of you, even if you cannot fully see it clearly yet. My child, I need you to stop drifting through life half-awake spiritually, because too much is at stake now for you to remain numb, distracted, and emotionally disconnected from what is happening inside your soul. You have spent long enough ignoring the warning signs, long enough silencing conviction, long enough postponing the changes your heart already recognizes as necessary. This moment is not random. I am speaking to you urgently because your spirit is standing at a crossroads, and the direction you choose from here will shape far more than you currently understand. You already feel the tension inside you. Part of you knows you cannot continue living the same way forever. You know certain habits are draining your peace. You know some relationships have weakened your spirit. You know distraction has stolen your focus, and compromise has slowly numbed areas of your heart that once felt alive and sensitive to my presence. Yet despite all of this, you keep hoping things will somehow improve without fully confronting what needs to change. Come sit with me now and stop running from the truth. This is your wake-up moment. A moment for shame, but a moment for honesty. A moment to finally acknowledge how exhausted your soul has become, carrying cycles that no longer bring life into you. A moment to recognize that delay has already cost you enough peace, enough time, enough clarity. Do not continue sleeping spiritually while your future quietly waits on the other side of your obedience. I need your full attention now. Stop numbing yourself with endless distractions. Stop telling yourself there will always be more time later. Some moments carry unusual weight because they determine the direction of future seasons, and this is one of those moments for you. The choices you make now matter deeply. Your spirit knows it. That is why your heart has felt so restless lately. Wake up emotionally. Wake up spiritually. Pay attention to what keeps damaging your peace. Pay attention to what repeatedly weakens your discipline and clarity. Pay attention to the voice inside you that still longs for healing, truth, and closeness with me. Do not silence that voice again. I am not asking you for perfection. I am asking you for surrender. Open your heart honestly. Bring your fears into the light. Let go of what continually pulls you backward. Return to prayer sincerely instead of mechanically. Rebuild the parts of your inner life you neglected while trying to survive. This moment matters more than you realize, my child. Do not allow comfort, fear, or distraction to keep you asleep any longer. Wake up to the life I have been trying to call you toward. Wake up to the healing your soul desperately needs. Wake up to the purpose still waiting ahead of you. My child, after everything your heart has been feeling, after all the conviction, restlessness, exhaustion, and quiet moments where truth kept rising inside you, I need you to stop waiting for another sign while ignoring the one already standing directly in front of you. Deep inside, you already know what needs to happen next. You know which habit must end. You know which distraction keeps weakening your spirit. You know which conversation needs honesty. You know where your peace keeps getting damaged. You know where fear has been controlling your decisions. I have been speaking gently to your heart for a long time now, and this moment is your invitation to finally respond. Do not keep standing at the edge of change while praying for transformation. Your soul is tired of circles, tired of delay, tired of carrying the tension between conviction and avoidance. Every time you silence what your spirit already knows, the weight inside you grows heavier. But listen carefully to me now. You do not need to solve your entire future tonight. You only need the courage to take the next honest step in front of you. Come closer to me now and release the endless excuses. Stop telling yourself you will begin later when fear feels smaller, when life feels calmer, or when you finally feel fully ready. The day may never arrive the way you imagine it. Growth begins when you decide to move despite uncertainty. Healing begins when you stop running from truth. Peace begins when surrender finally becomes more important to you than temporary comfort. Take the step. Pray sincerely again. Open your heart fully again. Walk away from what continually drains your spirit. Put boundaries around what keeps poisoning your peace. Return to discipline. Return to honesty. Return to stillness with me. Stop negotiating with the things your soul already recognizes as harmful. Your future deserves more than another season lost to hesitation. I know part of you fears what change may require. I know letting go can feel painful when unhealthy things have become emotionally familiar. But I promise you this, my child. The life waiting on the other side of obedience carries more peace than the comfort you keep clinging to now. You were never created to remain trapped inside fear, exhaustion, compromise, and emotional survival forever. This is your moment to respond. Not perfectly, but honestly. Not fearlessly, but willingly. Let your heart finally stop resisting the healing it have been longing for all along. Let this become the season where your choices begin aligning with the future I have been trying to lead you toward. I am still with you. I am still calling you forward. So breathe deeply now. Release what keeps holding you back, and take the step you already know you need to take. My child, this moment is not only about the step you personally need to take, it is also about the souls I desire to reach through your obedience today. You already know the stirring you feel right now is not random. I am inviting you to help carry this message farther so more broken hearts can encounter my truth, my healing, and my peace before it is too late. Every act of giving through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes seed planted into eternal ground, and the harvest attached to that obedience will reach far beyond what your eyes can presently see. Did I not promise that those who honor me will be honored? I am speaking that over your life now with power. As you release your seed, I will release fresh favor, protection, wisdom, and provision back over you and your household. This is the hour to stop hesitating and move with bold obedience, because heaven responds when my children act in faith instead of delay. So answer the call now. Give through super thanks, join as a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the video description, and become part of the work I am doing across the earth. My child, there are people around you carrying silent battles very similar to the ones I spoke to your heart about today. If this message brought light, clarity, or peace into your spirit, let that same light reach someone else who may need it right now. Share this with at least 3 people you care about, and allow this moment of truth, healing, and encouragement to continue touching hearts beyond your own. Do not leave this moment carrying the same hesitation that hath been keeping your spirit trapped. I want you to make this personal right now. In the comments, declare, "I will take the step God is calling me to take." Let those words become more than a sentence. Let them become the beginning of your obedience, your healing, and your new direction. Your future cannot change while your voice remains silent, so speak life over yourself today, and let this be the moment everything starts shifting. My child, if you know I have been speaking directly to your heart today, do not walk away from this moment unchanged. Subscribe and stay close to these messages, because I am calling you out of delay, out of fear, and into the life your spirit hath been longing for. Let this become the season where you finally stop ignoring the step I have been asking you to take. Amen.